Welcome to the Fezzer Garage. I'm Justin and this is YouTube's most seriously average car channel. Now today we're not going to be talking about cars, and I'm very late with my video this week because, well, unfortunately work has been mental. I started a poll on the channel the other day and I asked people what sort of thing they'd like to see this week, and the overwhelming majority was not my cat, unfortunately. It was a video a bit more personal, something about like living in Spain or moving to Spain, that sort of thing. So today's video is going to be about why I moved to Spain. Ole! Let's go for a little bit of a drive and I'll tell you why I've been in Spain for the last 19 years. It's the place where I've actually lived the longest. I've never lived anywhere that long, and especially in this area. We've sort of stayed in this area. We've moved around a lot, but always within this area. Anyway, as we go past our local Ford garage, which is the only dealer, the only car dealership in the village. So this is a really small village, and I will give you a tour one day so you can see the area where I live and sort of, I suppose, why we're still here. But today we're winding back about 19 years ago, and when we first moved to Spain. So let's start. Right, it actually sort of went back to 2003, and in 2003 I was working in the UK as a mechanical engineer in the automotive industry. Oh, let's make sure let's cross over here. We'll go down this route, which is a little bit nicer. So I was working in the UK, and well, you know, a lot of manufacturing in the UK, especially in that sort of time, costs were increasing, so a lot of companies were moving abroad. And the company I was working for, manufacturing company where we made water pumps and stuff, they were closing the factory and they were moving it to Brazil. So I was given the option of staying on as an engineer, actually to head up the technical centre there. Don't know how I got offered that, or to take a redundancy and leave. So I was like, well, okay, how much is the redundancy? And it was like, I think it was about 18,000 pounds, which seemed like an absolute fortune in those days. So I was like, well, I'll take the money. Now in those days, there's a lot of TV programs about moving abroad and setting up a new life abroad and stuff like that. So I spoke to my partner at the time and we were like, hey, what do you think? Should we go abroad? Because the thing was that at this time we were living in Luton and I was working in Kent. Now, those of you who know the UK, to get from Luton to Kent, you've got to get on the M25, which is the London Circular, and that motorway is an absolute nightmare. So I was like getting up at like 5:30 every day just to try and get onto the motorway before 6 o'clock. Because if I sort of got to the motorway before any later than 6 o'clock, then it was just massive traffic. So, and it would take me a lot longer to get to work. So I was spending like an hour and a half, maybe getting to work in the morning, and then leaving work at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon to get back home. It would sometimes take me like 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours to get home. So I wasn't, and at the time we had 2 babies, twins. We had twin girls. No, we still got twin girls. But they were very young, you know, they were just a few months old at the time. And because I was commuting so much, I wasn't really seeing them. So I was sort of seeing them only at the weekend. And that's not really what I wanted in my life. You know, I wanted to spend time with my kids. I didn't have a dad growing up. And, you know, I wanted to be a really good dad to my kids. So I decided that actually I'll take the redundancy money and we'll move to Spain and set up a new life in Spain, and I'll work for myself. And the idea to come here was not to like make money or anything. It was literally so that I could just have my own business and just run something small where I could pay enough to pay my rent or my little mortgage, and just to be able to live okay. There was no intention of making money or anything. It was literally just so that I could go to the beach with my kids every day and just enjoy time with them as babies and little kids. I just really wanted to spend time with the kids, really. And so we started packing up. We had about a year to prepare, and so I had no idea at the time what the hell I was going to do in Spain. So it was a time when Spain was booming though. So the early 2000s, there was a lot of construction down here on the coast. It was very active. There was a lot of money flowing, a lot of dodgy money flowing, a lot of dodgy money, and a lot of money getting lost. But it was a very exciting time to come over. There was a real buzz on the coast at the time. It was really, really good. And but anyway, I had like a year to plan, so I started planning the whole move. And then one evening, I was having a shower, and it came to me, this like light, the light bulb moment sort of kicked in. And I was like, oh my God, I know what we're going to do in Spain. I had this great idea, and I was going to set up an online business, and I was really excited about it. And remember that my background was engineering, so not marketing, not sales, engineering. So I had no experience in marketing or sales, anything commercial really. That was not my area. But I thought, well, I'll set up an online business. How hard can it be? It was really hard, actually. So this lady across the road. I'll just take you into, so I just come from the village up there, which is Manilva, which is where I live, and this is Sabanillas. I'll give you a proper tour one day, but we'll just have a little drive through, and I'll carry on the story quickly. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible, by the way. Anyway, so I had this brainwave of what I was going to do in Spain, and I started working on like putting it together, learning how to build a website, and I got lots of publicity for my idea in the UK before we came over, and I thought this is going to be great. You know, we've got featured in magazines. I even got Alan Sugar to feature me in The Sun. He had a column in The Sun. I think it was like it was a Wednesday column, and well, he had a whole page. And he featured me in The Sun. They came, they took photographs of me, and he talked about it on his page. And I thought, oh, we are going to really make it. And I wasn't interested in like making loads of money or anything, by the way. I was just more interested in getting enough money just to pay the bills and live okay. But then we packed up. We sold the house in the UK. We sold everything, really, absolutely everything. So we came to Spain with our, I think it was like 20 odd grand or something like that in total, thinking that we had plenty of money. I did all my planning, and then we arrived, got to, you know, we rented a flat up in the village in Manilva, where I am now. And first day we got here, I went down to the phone shop and I said, oh, I need a phone line, please. And they sort of laughed in my face, and they were like, phone line? There's no phone lines. And I'm like, what do you mean there's no phone lines? I'm running an internet business and I need the internet. Well, unfortunately, there were no phone lines. So to start an internet business without internet proved horrendously challenging. Anyway, so I won't go into more details there, but I basically had a nightmare first sort of 6 to 8 months. We burnt through the money in like no time. So after about 4 or 5 months, we literally had nothing left in the bank. I remember that we got to a point where we had €9 in the account. And I remember I was with my kids, and I put the card in the machine to try and withdraw some money because we didn't have any money, and I tried to withdraw the money, but because it was €9, the minimum you could withdraw was €10, so I couldn't withdraw my €9. We went through a really, really, really tough time, but you know, I like a challenge. I like to keep my life complicated. So and we found a way. So, and I've always believed that, like, you know, you need to work really hard in life, but you also need a little bit of luck. So there were a couple of moments where I had a bit of luck, and some of those really kicked in. And then over the next, you know, after the first sort of, I would say 9 months, things started clicking. I was like, okay, I can build the website, I know what I'm doing there. And then I had to understand marketing, I had to learn marketing, and I became obsessed. And really that initial issue and the problem, the fact that we didn't have any money and I had to generate money fast, is really why I still do what I do today, which is digital marketing. But we are still here. So to be honest, I think if we'd kept the house in England after the first 6 months, we would have gone back. So we would not have stayed. But because we had no option, there was nothing to go back to. So we had to stay. And somehow I had to make it work. But yeah, it's a bit of a lesson learned there. This car's a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, there's a lesson there. And like when I used to hear people that wanted to come over to Spain and work here and set up a business here, I was like, whoa, you know, the TV paints a really rosy picture. But the reality is very different. You know, moving abroad is really hard anyway. Setting up a business is really hard anyway. And when you have two-year-olds in tow, it's really hard again. So there's multiple things sort of at the same time, which was a bit crazy really. So to move, set up business, wow. You know, when I see these things on TV now and I'm like, whoa, one thing at a time, people. Trust me, it's really hard. Luckily at that time, I was 30 years old. So I was a little bit younger than I am today, and I had phenomenal energy. So, I mean, I could work from, you know, 7:30 in the morning till 3:30 at night, well, morning again. I could work all day. You know, I would take a break during the day to pick up the kids from school. I'd take them to the beach and stuff. The rest of the time, just working. And but you know, I came to spend time with my kids, and that's exactly what I did. I spent time with them. I went to all of their like parent-teacher events, and like, you know, every concert that they did, and everything. I was always there, and which is what I always wanted to do. So I balanced my life really well, but lots of challenges along the way. And so, you know, this is quite a nice little road, by the way. You can't speed too much. This is all the grapevines. I don't know if you can see them on that side, but these are the grapevines. So this area is really very famous for its sweet grapes. So they make sweet wine with it. Anyway, right. I won't bore you anymore. That's really why I came to Spain. It was to set up a new life, but it was challenging. It was tough. It was exciting as well, I have to say. It was really exciting. I don't have any regrets. I never regret anything. You know, you always do something at the time that you think is the right thing to do. So you can never look back and regret anything. Things I would have done differently now, knowing what I know. But, you know, I can't complain. You know, I've got 2 great kids, and, you know, with touch wood, you know, we're okay financially and stuff. So, you know, but anyway, I will shortly then give you a bit of a tour of the area, and you can see where I live a bit more, and there's not that much to show, to be honest. But I was taking the dog for a walk on the beach this morning, and I thought, oh, this is actually quite a privileged lifestyle. And I have to, you know, pinch myself sometimes to think, you know, things worked out. It was really hard, but they worked out okay. Right, I'll leave it there. Hope you found that interesting, and let me know if you'd like some more similar videos. I don't really know what I've said in this, because I'm not very good at driving and talking at the same time, so I don't know if I've just said a load of nonsense. Anyway, right, I will hopefully be on time for the next video, so have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.